Welcome back to Dead Ball TV. We're going to be giving y'all our CONMEBOL September World Cup qualifying recap. We're going to go over some winners, some losers. We're going to see how we did in our predictions, and we're going to give y'all our biggest takeaways from this window. Guys, in the comments, of course, drop your biggest takeaway, winner and loser down below. Drop a like on the video if you could, and hit subscribe if you like videos about CONMEBOL. And if you're listening on streaming platforms, podcast, 5-star rating, thank y'all very much. I'm going to take the winner, my biggest winner first. And I have to say Paraguay. Paraguay, Paraguay, Paraguay. And I got to pat myself on the back a little bit because I was spot effing on, bro, with what I said about these boys. I said, ojo con Paraguay. I said, Alfaro's going to come in. He's going to make them super annoying. His style of football plus Paraguayan fossil DNA is going to equal a pain in the ass. And that is exactly what happened during this window where they go to Montevideo. And I'll grant you, Uruguay were missing players. I don't care. They had a strong performance there. And then they beat Brazil in Asuncion. We'll talk about Brazil later, maybe in our loser section. But that result, I mean, Alfaro might be Brazil's daddy. He drew them when he was Ecuador manager. He drew them at the Copa America when he was Costa Rica's manager. And now he beats them as Paraguay's manager? Yo, I mean, Junior going to put a hit out on him.
It's an even better look that Brazil beats for Alfaro. It's an even better look that Brazil beats Ecuador this window too.
Yes.
That's just more fuel for the fire.
Correct. And I'm going to throw a hot take down. I don't even think it's a hot take. Paraguay going to the World Cup, baby. 100% they get in top 7. 100%. I think with this appointment, the players now, seems like he's kind of experimented with the lineup a little bit. At Asuncion, I don't see them dropping many points there, dude. I don't think there's a lot of teams in CONMEBOL who can beat them there right now. I think they've gotten a lot of the really tough fixtures out of the way. Paraguay locked in. Mass winner for me.
So you think we have another home like bastion now? You think we've got another locked in home fortress?
Yes. 100%. I'm not saying it's like ready. I was going to say Bolivia. Hoth. Okay. Hoth fell. So that's probably a bad example.
Hoth fell, from overwhelming forces.
You know what Hoth is?
The Battle of Stalingrad?
No, Hoth is Santiago. Close, though. Basically the same thing.
God, what are we? God, we're not even 3 minutes in, and we're already ripping the freaking historical comparisons.
All right, Stalingrad has made an appearance already. Yeah, no, we'll get to the Chileans. I mean, I think Santiago has fallen. Is really how you can summarize that. But I do think, I think it's fallen from within. But I do think Paraguay going to the World Cup, massive winners from this window. Like as a team, just dominant. I think it's incredible what we've seen.
I think I've got to see more from Paraguay before I make that judgment there. Some of my old habits and biases die hard, but I think I'm with you. They're really big winners there. My big winner, though, is Bolivia. I mean, when was the last time? And this is kind of a layup, but let's just talk about it. When was the last time they scored? When was the last time they scored 6 goals in a qualifying window? I have to know. I mean, I was going back and the scores and matches were confusing me. I didn't have enough prep time, but that is a question that deserves an answer because, I mean, I'm shocked.
I'm shocked.
Dubs at home and away. And let's just say it, the Battle of Stalingrad, there were massive casualties there. The Bolivians did not take massive casualties. They suffered a very unlucky goal for them, a very lucky goal from Chile. I mean, Gareca, if you look at his face when they score that goal, I mean,
he felt nothing, I think.
He felt nothing. He said that was a pity goal. That was a gimme.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think he wanted to score that goal.
No.
I think he would have rather have lost 2-0 because then he's got more material for the locker room afterwards,
Dude, I think I'm glad you said Bolivia because that's the second winner, and that's inarguable. I mean, the last time
It's
that
inarguable.
Bolivia took 6 points in the qualifying window was 30 years ago. 30 years ago was the last time they got a win at home and then left La Paz and got another dub. 30 years ago. This was Chile's first ever defeat at home against Bolivia in the history of the fixture. So, massive W. Probably the last time Bolivia scored 6 goals, Uruguay was still a province of Argentina. I mean,
After this window, are they not once more?
I think the vultures are circling. And
The
that is a
vultures are circling.
fascinating thing that I want to talk about later when we get into our biggest takeaways. But I think great nominees we have. Perhaps
Yeah.
the layups, but sometimes you have to take the layups
Do
for
you
the
have an
biggest
honorable
winner.
mention? You have a second one. My honorable mention was Colombia. I took Colombia there.
Okay.
I th- I,
Okay.
th- I think
I like
I
that.
think I think footy won. I think footy won. I like the Colombians. I got no beef towards them, and it was good to see them get up and get excited. It was fun. We can talk more about that when we get into Argentina, Colombia.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
was frankly, I was happy. Happy for
I
them.
like that. I like that shot. We need some positivity before we get into losers. My honorable mention very quickly. I'm going to say Ecuador. I thought it was a very, very solid performance away to Brazil. I know they fell 1-0, but I
Hey,
mean, they played a good
still
game.
Brazil. Still Brazil.
Still Brazil. They still played a good game, and it was away from home. And it was Becacese's first game. I mean, come on. It's and the goal they allowed. It's a great, somewhat unlucky goal, from Rodrigo. So I think honorable mention for those guys. Now losers.
Oh baby.
You want to take yours first?
Yeah. I'm gonna go for another layup here. Chile.
Take it.
Chile.
Jesus, dude.
Chile.
Jesus.
I mean, I we were very bullish on Chile, and I think I still am. I
You
think that
are?
they've hear me
Oh,
out,
dude, I
hear me
sold
out,
my
hear me out,
stock. Okay.
hear me out,
Okay.
hear me out.
Okay.
I'm not selling my stock, and it's mostly due to bias. But I'm gonna try and
That's okay.
thread a storyline here, and I'm gonna see how it plays out. Okay. And right now
I can't
I'm
wait to hear
grasping at
this.
straws. I'm trying to win my money
I'm
back at the
so excited
casino
to hear this.
because, like you said, my match day 2 results did not line up with the predictions. So I'm
We
trying
will
to win
get into our scorecards.
I'm trying to win my credibility. We saw that they can compete against bigger teams. We saw that they're capable of that. Their performance in the Copa America, somewhat unlucky, but mostly just underperforming. I'm
Yes.
thinking that there's a world in which the Chileans are just buying too high on their own stock, and they were feeling too good about themselves, and now they're feeling the midseason slump or the second game slump, whatever you want to call it, the second year slump. They've got a little bit of a hangover. They can cure this. If there's a manager that can cure it, it is Gareca, in my opinion. He's a project guy. We've got him there. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out. But I'm thinking that he can revitalize this team. I'm thinking there's still life to well, he can breathe life back into them. They've still got something left to give, and you just got to give it time. This next window is going to be a really, really big one. I said this was going to be the statement window, or this had to be the statement window. It wasn't. It sent very much the opposite message to what we were hoping, at least for Gareca's sake. And yeah, they've got a big hill to climb, but they're back in the position that they were when they found success. So this is not unfamiliar territory for them. You know, they're once again being underrated. So guys, ball's in your court.
I agree in the sense that now they have nothing to lose. They're like the cornered dog, the stray dog. Now is where it is the most dangerous. Do you know who their next 2 games are?
Nobody good. Who is it?
They got Brazil and Colombia next window.
Okay. Well, it's done. It's been a nice run. Gareca's out. No, but in all
Next match day. Oh my
In
god.
in in all seriousness, they paid this man a bag, I'm sure. I don't think he's out next window. I think he's
No,
going
he'll
through
stick
to the
around.
World Cup, I'm sure. Um,
Well, here's my
well, maybe.
question. I was going
Depends.
to ask you this later, but who's more to blame? Gareca or the players? Because I keep going back and forth. I would let us know in the comments, who is more responsible for the downfall of Chile right now? Is it the player pool? Are they not good enough? Or is it Gareca? Is he just the wrong man for this job?
Here are my thoughts. Here are my thoughts on this.
Okay.
And this is just the eye test. It's not working without Brereton. So he puts Brereton in. It still doesn't work. You're seeing that changes are being made. You're seeing that options are being explored. I think that he's working with a very talentless pool, not saying that there isn't talent in that squad, but potentially it's just not up to snuff. I mean, we know that CONMEBOL qualifying is insane. And even with the
Mhm.
extended amount of teams that are going to make the cut here, um, the animosity doesn't die away. Anybody who was saying that it would dilute the competition, I mean, just look at this window. You're wrong.
Yeah, you're
That may
wrong.
even have
Yeah.
been me, back when this was announced, when this structure was announced. But you're wrong. The animosity does not die. The vitriol that these teams have for one another does not simply go away because, there are more guys making the cut. It was never about making the cut. A lot of these lower teams who don't usually make the cut, they want to fight out of spite. And that's what they want. That's fully it, 100%. And we
Yeah,
saw it.
but
We saw
obviously
it.
for Chile with Gareca, they appointed him to make the World Cup, and
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
understand I understand why Chileans will be upset, but if you look at the moves that are being made around Chile, I mean, Paraguay getting Alfaro is a match made in heaven. That's not what you wanted. That's what you're competing with. That's your
Yeah.
main competition. Your main competition was always Paraguay and Peru.
You were
Paraguay had
supposed to
a
be Yeah, Chile was supposed to be the princess at the ball. They were supposed to
yeah,
have the magical transfer that changed everything, them and Uruguay. And
yeah.
now with Alfaro, the dialogue has kind of switched. Okay, well, there's more competition on the ball. I honestly feel
Mhm.
like I'm watching an anime, you know? I feel like I'm watching a high, like,
Mm.
I don't even know. Um, like, what is it? Oh, man, what's that show about the billionaires?
Oh, jeez, I don't know.
Oh, dude, it's on HBO. I can't remember, but it just feels like they dropped the mic and then somebody dropped a mic on top of it. You've been superseded.
They have. They've been leapfrogged. They've been leapfrogged. I think Paraguay were in a weird spot where they had more talent than Chile, but they had a worse manager. Now they have Alfaro, who's probably on par with Gareca. If you want to say it's a little worse, I'm okay with that just because he doesn't have the Copa America clout. Cool. But Alfaro plus the talent of Paraguay equals they're going to finish above you, bro. You look at Peru, they appoint Fossati. Okay, they're going full terrorist ball. They're going guerrilla warfare. It's the only thing they can do. Well, now Peru just got a little bit more annoying. Now Peru's getting draws at home against Colombia. It's not a lot, but it's a little bit of improvement. You losing to Bolivia at home for the first time ever. So the field has outgrown Chile. And I think if you sack Gareca, I don't think it gets better. And you
No.
know what? My hater ass take. This is Alexis Sanchez's fault. You know why?
Okay.
I'm
Why?
gonna tell you why. Let me take y'all back. First game at the Copa America. Chile versus Peru. BS game, awful watch, zero quality on display. But what happens? Peru creates, or excuse me, Chile creates one incredible chance in that game. And that chance falls to Alexis Sanchez, who was unable to score. I believe he blasted the header of the shot wide. I genuinely think if he puts that chance away, Chile win the game. They get 3 points from their first game at the Copa America. Who knows what happens after that? It almost felt like Gareca came in, he got the vibes right, then the Copa started, and you failed to beat Peru, your arch rival, who are trash right now. And it was like it shook the team. And then you lose to Argentina after playing a pretty good game, and then you get a red card against Canada. And it's just like disaster, disaster, disaster. Then you got to play Argentina again as soon as the Copa's over. In Buenos Aires, you were always
So
going to lose.
you think that Chile's got the yips right now? You think that we're seeing a rattled Chile?
I think we saw the dominoes of death fall one by one. They're stacking up, and they don't have the talent to come back. They don't. And if Gareca does not get the locker room back, not that he's lost it, but he certainly this team has no confidence. They're finished, and they'll probably finish below Bolivia. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
So I think you get rid of Gareca, you keep Gareca, it doesn't matter. This team is shaking right now, and they'll be praying for a point next window. I really think so. So Chile, massive loser. I don't think there's no argument against that, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
Brazil. I'm gonna say Brazil. I'm also gonna take the layup here. Brazil have lost 4 games this qualifying cycle. They've only lost more than 4 games one time in their history. The most they've ever lost in a World Cup qualifying cycle was 6 games. We have 10 games to go, bro. We
When
have
was that?
10
Do
games
you
to
know when
go.
that was? Was that
I think it was
2002?
2002. Yes. Yeah, it was.
That's
2002.
ironically enough, that's the year that they went on to win the World Cup, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
which is
maybe this is a good thing.
horrifying.
Maybe this is a good thing
Maybe
for
for that, maybe they
2026.
can pull a Hail Mary, but they don't have R9 to, get them out
No,
of a
no.
pinch here.
Oh, I'm glad you brought him up. I'm gonna get back to that in a second. They have 10 matches left. And dude, I see them dropping more. I see them losing more than 2 games for sure. For sure. They haven't gone to Ecuador yet. They're gonna have Colombia coming into town. I don't think they played in Montevideo. I could be wrong, but I think they played Uruguay at home. No, they didn't. They lost to Uruguay in Montevideo. So they got Montevideo going to Brazil. I don't remember where the Argentina, I think, beat them in Brazil. Yes, they did. Otamendi's header. So
So
you
they
got
got the Monumental.
Argentina away. I mean, we're looking at a historically bad World Cup campaign. We can't extrapolate too much now, but Brazil during this window again lackluster. You brought up R9. I'm convinced the biggest problem with this team is they don't have a striker. And genuinely, this is not a meme take. I'm not trying to banter. At what point do they bring Richarlison back? At what point does Matthias Cunha get another look at the striker in this team? Because Endrick, bruh, we fans of his. Don't take us wrong in the comments. We're fans of his.
I
He's not
liked
ready.
him. Honestly, my biggest positive for Brazil was Endrick's hairstyle. I thought it looked sick. He looks
Yeah.
like he should be banging him in top corner.
Yeah, I mean, Gabriel Magalhaes looked pretty good too, but I mean, he's just not ready. So at what point do you take another 9 and say, hey, we have to switch something up here? I never thought they'd be missing Bobby Firmino as much as they do.
Yeah.
They cannot score goals. There's not a single goal scorer in this team. Doesn't matter how pretty the football is. They do not score. Any even half decent defense they play, it's going to be a long 90 minutes for Brazil.
Gonna be a long 90 minutes. Long 90 minutes. Agreed. My biggest loser was Chile, but the honorable mention, I got Junior. I'm
glad you brought that up.
He's
Glad you brought
not
that
the
up.
guy. Yeah.
We said before the window, Junior has the hottest seat in CONMEBOL and that he needs a massive window to save his job. Well, how you feeling now, Connor?
I'm feeling like my man's days are numbered. I'm feeling like the decision to get him out has been made. And right now we're just looking for candidates at this point because I don't think Junior is the guy that's going to cycle the 9. No, I think probably one of his primary instructions when he came to power
When he usurped the throne.
when he usurped the throne, one of his primary directives was probably get Vinicius firing, get Endrick firing. I bet you they said get Rodrigo or Endrick. Get one of those guys. Said one of those is our future 9. We want to brand them that way. And we see potential. So you have to play them. And frankly, you want another hot take? Well, maybe not a hot take, but a scalding. Not a scalding one. It feels mean to say this, but it's not his fault. It's not Junior's fault. I don't think it's Junior's fault. I think he was given a job. and he's doing that job to the specifications that he was given. And I don't think these guys are delivering. Not that I don't think they're not. Full stop.
Yeah. I would love to know, any Brazilians or anybody else in the comments, what Brazilian player has gotten better for the national team since Junior took over? Who's gotten better? Maybe Wendell, maybe Magalhães. I don't think Guimarães has gotten better. I think he's kind of stayed the same.
Yeah.
It ain't Vinny. It ain't any
It
of the
ain't
big
Vinny.
guns. I don't know. I
What does
think
this make it
he's making
since
mistakes.
since the World Cup and now this qualifying window? What does Vinny have? Two goal contributions for a whopping. What did he have? 4 before that? So
He might
6
be
in
on
total?
5 total in
He
his
might be on
career.
5
Yeah.
total?
He might be on
Interesting.
5 total. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying that was a problem before Junior and he didn't fix it.
Mhm.
I don't think it's Junior. I don't think he's the issue. That's my
We'll
2
see what
cents.
people think down below in the comments. Why don't we go ahead and take it to the match recaps, and then guys, let's review how Connor and I scored in our predictions. So buckle up for this one. We'll start with the first match day. Probably the surprise result. Okay, let me know in the comments, and Connor, you tell me too. Bigger surprise: Bolivia 4-0 against Venezuela at home, or Paraguay beating Brazil 1-0 at home? Bigger surprise.
I think you got to say Paraguay.
I'm gonna say, for me, Bolivia. For me, it was Bolivia. 4 goals. Venezuela. This is a top 3 defense in CONMEBOL, and they got worked.
Yeah.
I get it. The altitude.
Okay.
I don't care. They got worked. That's just me. I don't think that's the right answer, but I just had to ask that because both of those results, I think, are kind of the
I
eyebrow
I think
raisers here.
I think I agree with you in the magnitude of goals scored. I don't think that I'm surprised about the result, if that makes any sense. Like, I think I went back and I said, I think I had Bolivia losing, but I'm not
You did.
shocked
You
that
had.
they came away with a win.
I'll go through our results in a second. So Bolivia beat Venezuela 4-0 at home. Obviously, monumental win for the Bolivians. Argentina then completely wiped the floor with Chile 3-0. Uruguay and Paraguay battled out to a 0-0 draw in Montevideo without a bunch of Uruguay's, starters in due to suspension. Brazil narrowly edged Ecuador 1-0, and Peru got the draw 1-1 against Colombia. Now, let me go one by one here. So Colombia 1-1 draw. Both of us had Colombia winning this one 2-0.
Yep.
Actually, we did not have faith in our Peruvian brothers to get a result here. I don't know really what to say about this game. It was 2 set piece goals. I think Colombia need to officially be known as Air Jordan FC because they are
Holy
the most
cow.
dangerous set piece team in the world. Period. They are. It's insane. You cannot keep these guys off the ball. I used to think it was Ecuador. It's not.
Not
It's
anymore.
not.
Not
Not
late,
anymore.
not lately. If you look at the recency bias, I mean, you've got to say they're just some big lads, and they're getting up. I mean, we'll get there, but Lisandro, querido, we're really
Yeah.
seeing. Well, you know what? We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah. So big point for Peru. Must be said. We were both wrong on that one. Both of us were pretty spot on. Argentina, Chile. Obviously, the actual score was Argentina 3, Chile 0. We both had a 2-0. I thought the ball was a freak in this game. He was so good. Argentina completely cooked. Golazo from Julian. Banger. And a rocket from Dybala as well. Some
Yeah,
good goals in this game.
dude, come on now. Are we getting into this game?
Yeah, let's get into the game. Yeah.
All right, so I had a field day with this one. This one was just it was a pleasure to watch. It was absolute Argentine domination. Um, McAllister getting a goal right after a big miss from him. Very happy for that.
Yeah.
Always, always. Um, I think you gotta say that man of the match has to go to the little Argentine kid who threw up the double birds after McAllister scored that goal. and you immediately see his dad. His dad should have, gotten a yellow card for contact here because I mean he like throws his hands down. He's laughing, but that's just unfair contact on the little kid. The little kid's just getting
Mhm,
up. He's buying into the culture. Just really unfair there. But yeah, Julian, I literally have wonder goal written down. It was gorgeous.
mhm.
Gorgeous. Just
It was
fantastic. I
it's great.
it was phenomenal. I mean, he looked like Aryan Robin with a little cut inside, and then boom, just fantastic. Um, I
Di
said
Maria send-off game too.
the Maria send off game, and this is exactly how it has to happen. And the Di Maria send off remind me because I think that carries us into the Colombia result. Um,
Mhm,
it's good to see La Joya back. Assist from Garnacho, pretty nice, pretty nice. Seeing the young
mhm.
guns getting up, I like that. I like that.
It
It's
was a
not a
good goal.
lot. It's not a lot, but that's already what a 20th of what Vinicius has contributed in his entire career. So I'll
Oh,
take
more than a
that
20th. Yeah,
more than
he's probably pretty close. The 20th is like
well.
that's
That's
5%.
that's a fifth. That's a fifth, right? And if he's got 5 goal contributions, I'm just saying.
No,
Listen.
no, it would be 1/5, not a 20th. The 20th is like 1
Oh,
divided by 20.
oh shoot. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You guys understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Listen, it
I
was a
was
long
like,
day.
"Nah, Vinny has, like, single digit goal contributions. It is not a 20th."
You're like, absolutely
But
not.
anyways, the point still
Um,
stands. I'm not gonna let you insult Garnacho like that.
no, 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 no. And I wouldn't deign, even though he wears that hideous red jersey. Um, okay, I've got 2 things to say about Chile here. Catalan, you gotta shave the mustache. You gotta shave the mustache. It's not happening. If you are gonna wear that mustache, you have to be beyond reproach. And my man's not doing his job. You can't be bad and have that muzzy. I'm just saying it's time.
He he
Get rid of it.
he thought he was Claudio Bravo, and he's
He
just not.
Dude, he thought he was Errol Flynn for any of the what 70s, 80s film aficionados out there. It's no, absolutely not. You
Yeah,
can't do the spike. You just got to do full cowboy if you're going Claudio Bravo. Claudio Bravo did it with
yeah,
class. This man,
yeah.
it's an affront to Claudio Bravo's
Mm,
legacy.
looks like some
Uh
Peaky Blinders in there.
trying to me, it gives more like I don't even know a pirate
No,
with
but you can't be that ass cheeks and have that be Gote.
that's the point. Yes, that's what we're
Yeah,
getting at here. And
we're in
then
agreement there.
last thing is just pray for Gareca. Pray for Gareca. I mean, yeah, I'm used to seeing managers yell on the sidelines, but I mean, Gareca just looks desperate here. It's a
He
it's a
does.
it's yells out of desperation.
Yeah. It's gonna be a big hill for him to climb. We should speak very quickly on Bolivia
Yeah.
beating Venezuela 4-0. I thought it was an interesting approach to the game from Batista. I think he went too defensive, dude. He went with the back three. He played John Adamburu as a center back. I just thought it was you cannot do that. You cannot survive 90 minutes against Bolivia. You have to kind of go at them. You get the goal, and then you fall back. So that way, if you concede, you can still get out of there with a point. But it was like Venezuela just kind of took the punches from the jump, and I think it obviously really backfired. You got your ass kicked 4-0. And so I want to ask you, is Bolivia legit? Did Venezuela flop? How do you see this? Let's go the
I think
window overall.
I okay. Ooh, the window overall. Okay, so that's a tough one. I think that to look at Bolivia, you have to take into account, and I like these long, overarching storylines. I like to build those. I like to craft them. Um, I like to try and piece them together. That's
You're
fun
a
to
man
me.
of theater.
I'm a man of theater. I love it. I believe genuinely that Bolivia was just tired of getting that ass beat. They were exhausted.
Okay.
They said, "We're changing something." And I think that Venezuela came in very pragmatic. They said, we're defensive first, they're defensive first. We're going to be looking at a 0-0 draw here. They were looking for just a snooze fest. And Bolivia showed up ready. Venezuela
Mhm.
didn't do their homework or didn't have a contingency plan. So when Bolivia got the train moving, so to speak, they picked up momentum, and there's no going back at that point. There's no going back at that point. I think it was just poor preparation on Venezuela's behalf, and you just got to be ready for that in CONMEBOL. You got to be ready for that. You have to prepare because you have no idea what a team is going to show up with.
I completely agree. I think Batista approached the game a little naive, and I think they got jumped. They
Yeah,
got
they did
jumped in
get
the
jumped.
mountains
Yep.
by the Bolivians. Like,
they got cut off at the mountain pass.
they did. Like, y'all really thought Bolivia was going to show up and play for a draw? No. No. And then now look what you've done. Now you've unleashed the Bolivian mountain rage. Then they go to Chile and they get the dub there. Now you've got them feeling themselves. They got 2 wins now at home. They beat Venezuela and Peru. I mean, it's going to be very, very tough. You got the crowd back into it in Bolivia as well. That went from like a maybe La Paz and Bolivia won't be that scary this cycle to like, God damn it. All right, it's back.
They're back.
That's kind of
They're
how I
back.
see it. They're back.
Yeah.
I actually think they are back. I actually think they are legit. I've been seeing little glimpses of good stuff from Bolivia, even games against Brazil, moments at the Copa America. There are moments where you're like, okay, there's something here. They're still not going to make it to the World Cup, but they don't finish last in the table. Hell no. Hell no. So we both got that one. Actually, hold on. Wait a minute. This is one of my most glorious moments from the preview. I said Bolivia were going to edge this one. I was like, I don't know, dude. And what?
I got to go back to the magnitude. They didn't edge it. They destroyed it. No, there was no edging here. They bodied this.
I have 2 notes here, and it's hilarious. I'm like, ball knowledge 4,000, called Bolivia winning, though I said 2-1. Massive L because I also said, quote, ain't nobody scoring 3 on Venezuela right now. So we have a net 0, I think.
It all came out in the wash, baby. It all came out in the wash.
Oh, God. I thought I was cooking there for a second, and it just absolutely collapsed. So both of us got that one wrong. Paraguay 0, Uruguay 0. I did have a draw in this game. You were feeling Uruguay 2, Paraguay 0. You thought that Paraguay was going to do it. This is fascinating to me. This is one of my biggest takeaways from this window, which we'll just drop them throughout, this recording. I think Bielsa's losing the fans. I think he's losing the fans. I don't know if you follow as many Uruguayan accounts as I do. Dude, they're going at this, man. They're saying his squad selection is trash. They're saying he's too stubborn. They're saying he's trusting the same players who are clearly not good enough to the Uruguayan standard. Now, I'm not an Uruguayan football expert, so I don't know who's being left out. I don't know what mistakes or players Bielsa should be calling up, but he's not. But we're seeing the cracks. We're seeing the cracks. And I kind of want to say we called this shit if the Copa America didn't go well. And at the end of the day, they started off scorching hot, barely did anything against Brazil, couldn't beat 10-man Colombia, and then beat Canada on pens. Like, it almost seems like the Bielsa cycle, the good and the bad, has already come full circle 12 months in. It's kind of happened a little faster this time. So I'm not saying Bielsa's job is under threat. I'm not saying he's going to be sacked. I'm not saying he's doing a terrible job. But I do always find it fascinating when the fan base starts turning. And trust me, they are turning. I don't know how many more apologists he has. If they don't start doing something in the next window and get back to form, I think people are like, this might be a classic Bielsa job. And that's both a good and bad thing. That's my takeaway from this. I was like, oh, y'all are displeased. And it can change quickly. They looked unbeatable before the Copa America, and now it's like Bielsa. I saw something was like, you can kill the man, but not the idea. And it was Oscar Tabarez, half of his face. And then it was Marcelo Bielsa. I also saw one that was Mao Zedong and Marcelo Bielsa. So that's how the Uruguayans are feeling right now about their manager.
I think that a lot of this is tough. And yeah, you can have, I really don't know how the fans are feeling. I don't, there's 4 million collective Uruguayans out there. I'm really worried that he's getting unfair flack here from the bans that they incurred earlier, because you have to think that these, I mean, you know that these
Yes.
play out a little bit differently if you've got your full squad. Because look, this Uruguay is a very different look from the one that we had. And I know I was really bullish on them. I think I was sipping that Uruguayan Kool-Aid a little too much. But it is what it is. It is what it is. La verdad de la papa has come to fruition. You know, you sat down at the dinner table, and I mean, this is why my ancestors left Ireland. You know, the papa wasn't good. The potato went bad. The food was bad. The potato that you got is not enough. It's not enough. You got to be looking for
No.
more, and it's just bad luck. It's bad luck, and you have to think after looking at this that the punishment from who was it, from CONMEBOL or from FIFA, from CONMEBOL, right?
CONMEBOL. Yeah.
You have to think that that's a little harsh now. I mean, that's where my
I
mind
agree
is
with you.
gone.
I agree with you. I think as a non-Uruguayan, I mean Uruguayan Argentine, same thing. So you have a little bit of mixed blood here. But me, I can look at this objectively. I think the ban protects Bielsa a little bit. It does. It's like, okay, bro, don't act like Uruguay were coming out here playing the same way if they had Araujo, Jimenez, Bentancur, and Nunez. Do not be that dumb. You know things would have been different. I agree in that sense.
But you also,
But
and I'm gonna play devil's advocate against
okay,
myself. I said, and I
interesting
still
strategy.
hold that this, well, I just want to give the people, all of the, I'm not out here for me. I'm out here to dissect the football game. I don't, I hate match predictions
You're
for
here for the
this reason
clout. Let's be
exactly.
honest.
I'm here for the cloud. Exactly. Yeah. You see, I don't have any rings on my fingers. I'm going until I can dye my hair blonde like the pole, and people won't flame me for it. I think that I have been one of the major proponents of saying that Bielsa is a project guy, very much like Gareca. You give him the reins and he brings the young guys up. You like it when he does avant-garde stuff, like bringing up whatever his name was from, the B League or from the semi-pro team in Uruguay. You want him to bring in no names. So you
Yeah.
say that, okay, if there's a manager that you're going to get in the locker room to coach a bunch of like nobodies, not that these guys are nobodies, they are professional Uruguayan soccer players, football players, but to coach a bunch of guys who, are not the first squad selection, you got to think that he's the one that's going to be able to galvanize that's going to be able to muster that strength. He's going to be able to do a lot with the little. That's his. I don't know if you can hear the car accident that just went on outside, but it's brutal. You got
Another
to
night in
think
New
that
York.
he's, yeah, another night in New York. You got to think that he's your guy. And he's not. Or he wasn't this window. Maybe he still is. Maybe this is just a fluke, but I don't know. He wasn't this window. And let's be realistic. You're gonna get worse windows. So I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm looking at my own takes right now. I have to do some introspection here.
It'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward. Because I agree with you. If Uruguay takes 6 next window, maybe people are back to saying he's el loco. He's the genius. I don't know. I just think we're now seeing exactly why Bielsa was both a good hire and maybe not so great a hire for Uruguay to begin with, because this team needs to win. And that's something that he just has never really been able to do at the very top level when it matters.
When it
Um,
matters, yeah.
and Paraguay, I already sang their praises. Incredible window from them, banging appointments. I mean, Costa Rica in the mud that they lost him as a manager so quickly. And then Brazil, Ecuador, we were both spot on. We both had Brazil 1, Ecuador 0, and that's exactly what happened. So from the match day 7, I scored a 4 out of 5. Connor, 2 out of 5, buddy.
Yep.
2 out of 5. It's okay. I mean, it happens. It happens. Never let the comments get to you. Until I see them drop prediction videos, they can say all they want to say. Now, match day 8, I do this a bit differently. I'll kind of go through this a little faster here so we can hurry up and end the episode. Colombia did beat Argentina 2-1, revenge for the Copa America final in the Barranquilla. I had Colombia 1-0. Connor, you had a 0-0. Chile, historic loss to Bolivia 2-1 at home. We both had Chile taking this one. Connor, I can't remember if you had 3-0 or 1-0. I had 2-0 for Chile. So not only did we both have Chile winning this game, We both didn't think Bolivia were going to score, and they did. And the Chile goal was bullshit, but we'll get to that in a second. Ecuador 1-0 in Quito. That is my scoreline. What I had, you had Ecuador winning a bit more of a decisive game, 3-0, but we still got the winner correct in that one. Venezuela 0, Uruguay 0. We both had Venezuela winning this game. And I want to talk about this game first. I had Venezuela 2, Uruguay 1. You had Venezuela 1, Uruguay 0. And then lastly, Paraguay 1, Brazil nothing. I thought it was going to be a 1-1 draw. You thought it was going to be a 3-1 Brazil victory. Now, allow me to quickly, I know we're coming up on the 45 minutes here, so let's try to go these rapid fire possible. The Venezuela-Uruguay game, all I want to say about this is Venezuela should have won. Like, our prediction should have been right. Rochette, hands down, the MVP for Uruguay in this game. I want to say he had 5 saves. I mean, he had some great ones on Rondon. I think Aramburu had a great shot. Gades might have had one as well. Like, he made some top saves in this match. And Uruguay did nothing going the other way. Like, they honestly got bodied at Maturin. I think it's kind of an L Venezuela didn't get out of there with 3 points. I don't know if you have any thoughts on the match before we move it on. But.
This is not one that I got to see. This is not one that I was able to see. I was horrifically jealous of you through the whole window. I mean, the kids at school were talking to me about the games, and I just had to sit there knowing that you had prime access to this, and football season just started over here, so there's no way in hell that that I was going to get to see any of these games. You know, I'm missing that VIX subscription more and more and more.
It's all right. It's only $8 a month. I'm sure we can get it back.
Yeah, I can figure that out.
I'm not saying it was a great game. I'm just saying Venezuela cooked and deserved to get the 3 points.
No, but you want to see these games. I actively want to see these games. I was missing the football. I thought the hangover from the Copa America would still have me, but I was sitting there filled with just jealousy and, you know, I'll say it, hatred towards you. It should have been me.
Wouldn't be the first time, and it surely will not be the last. It will not be the last.
Oh, it won't, because I'm telling you, I feel it right now.
Wait till I tell you how you scored in match day 8. Oh, you gonna hate me.
We can just not talk about it. We'll just move right on over there. Venezuela, Uruguay. I mean, dude, it's just a disappointment to see that. You know, you hope that at the very least, and again, I'm going to go in on Bielsa. Dude, I'm just making a case against this man. He's an offensive first coach. You want to see some like crazy stuff coming from him, right? Correct. You at least want to see, you know, you expect how he performed at Leeds to sort of transfer over here where, okay, you know, maybe you've got, you know, a lower talent squad now, but you want to see some offensive play. And I understand that Venezuela is good defensively, but the fact that you can't even conjure a decent effort, I mean, the case, it's not looking good, bro. Like, I don't know what to say. I'm an apologist, and you're not giving me anything to apologize with. You know, I have no ammo here. Even the stuff you're good at, you're not pulling through. So I don't know. Frankly, I'm left speechless.
I'll give you some memo right here. Venezuela outshot Uruguay 20-8 in this game. That's quite the margin. This is Venezuela we're talking about.
That's damning is what it is.
Yeah. So I'm going to maintain this will feel like a loss for Venezuela looking back. Let's talk about Argentina, Colombia. Obviously, we have to talk about this game. Copa America final rematch. It's hilarious because we weren't that off on our predictions. Like, obviously, you had the draw, but I feel like the draw was the safe money. And we both were like, this game is going to be ass cheeks. And it actually ended up being quite good. It was quite a good game, dude. And again, two set piece goals from Colombia. They had 3 goals this window. All 3 were set pieces. Ridiculous.
Proof's in the pudding.
It can't be stopped.
Proof's in the pudding. I mean, dude, let's talk about that first goal. Mosquera, an absolute stud. I did not get to see him for the other game, but dude, what just a dominant performer. I have one caveat to that, but I want to sing his praises first. huge, and this is the most, I think, underrated thing he did all game, but a huge block on Lautaro in the second half. A massive block on Lautaro in the second half. Because that right there is the difference between your 3 points and regaining honor for Colombia
Yeah. Yeah.
and what a tie, exactly what we called.
Yeah.
You know, he
Yeah.
watched
I
dead
remember the
ball and he
shot you're
said,
talking about. Yeah.
"Not on my watch." I mean, he
No.
just put his foot down, and dude, Lautaro, this is what I'll say for him: the man couldn't buy a goal in this game, but it was coming. It was coming. If that goes
He
into
was
extra
working.
time, I know it's not going to happen as a qualifier. I know that's not in the rules before y'all get after me, but I could smell it coming, and you can see it. You can see it on his face. I mean, the guy is just out for blood, and he's just unlucky to not get a clear shot on goal. That was his opportunity, and that little stumble that Mosquera forces causes the ball to get just out of his grasp. One more touch, and it's a shot on goal. I mean, if he gets his foot to it, it's a shot on goal. And we know that Vargas does not have a great track record with one-on-ones. I think he conceded his second his second nutmeg goal here, and that might have
Did
been
he?
3 in a row against. Yeah, I
Oh,
think I
yeah.
think
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the goal in the Copa America
In the
final was a
final.
nutmeg.
You're right. You're right.
And now
It is.
Nico
It
Gonzalez
was.
wins a little more credit, and Scaloni's job is made harder because he finally got a conversion, and it was a nutmeg.
Big goal. Big goal for
Yeah,
him.
yeah, big goal
That
for
was
him.
massive. Off
Big
off
goal
a
for him.
terrible James Rodriguez pass.
Yes, and now the point that I was trying to get to initially before I got on my soapbox here is that Mosquera got up for that. Mosquera got up for that goal. That big body boy completely cooks Lisandro on the assignment. I mean, dude, to your credit here, this is exactly why you don't like Lisandro, and these are his weaknesses being put on display right here. My argument for Lisandro was that in the air he's got a vertical. He's got a vertical
He does.
if he can jump up there. He wasn't there. He wasn't there. He got cooked on the assignment. Man had his head turned for one split second. Should have been paying attention. Still looking at the trajectory. Mosquera's there. Lisandro's left
I'm
with the
gonna
dust.
I'm gonna go crazy here. This
Okay.
was a really big deal for me because you said this is why I don't like Lisandro Martinez, and I see the weaknesses in his game. This is also why I love Colombia. This is why I think Colombia is such a dangerous team and why they are the second best team in CONMEBOL. And I'm gonna be honest, the gap between Argentina and Colombia and the rest, it's growing. Like it used to be, maybe Uruguay is, but no, no. And the
Not
people that
anymore.
were
Not right
still
now.
in the comments chirping about Brazil, embarrassing, bro. Brazil, they might not even be fourth right now. Don't even talk about top two. Talk to me in a year. But anyways, my point is, this is the exact Colombia that we saw for the entire Copa America until the final. And then I felt like Lorenzo just got it really wrong. He got it really wrong with his substitutes. He got it wrong with his tactics. I think Luis Diaz ghosted. I think John Arias didn't really do anything. And now we kind of saw that expelled a little bit. And I'm going to say, I like to see that because I like to see managers learn from their mistakes. And now, obviously, the big objective for Colombia now is the 2026 World Cup and how they perform at the tournament. Based on how they look, they should be aiming for a semifinal. That should be the goal. That's not a prediction, but they should be aiming for the semifinal. They're good enough to do that. They're good enough to beat almost every single European team, if not all of them. So I think this was big for Colombia in that sense. If y'all had beaten them again in the Barranquilla, the balloon's a little deflated.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Then you're looking at, just like you said for Chile, you're looking at maybe the morale has been shaken a little bit, right? You can't supersede
Yeah.
Argentina, and in all likelihood, Argentina is almost assuredly not going to win the next World Cup. So
Without Messi and Di Maria in this game, too.
exactly, exactly. So that's dangerous, but they didn't. They came away with the win, and I'm going to say a few things here.
Okay.
I respectfully disagree with your take on the fact that, or what you're saying was Colombian adjustments. I think that they may have shown up improved due to Colombian adjustments, but I'm going to make a case for Argentina being the main factor here. I think
Okay.
Argentina played a tremendous game. I mean, they went full python in the Copa America. They strangled and cut off passing lanes and played the most boring game of football that we saw almost all tournament. You could make an argument,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what they wanted. And that happened. And yes, you're right. Maybe the Colombian lineup and the substitutions did nothing to combat that, as it should have. But I don't think they played the same game here. I also don't think that the Argentines showed up ready for this game. And I don't think that they had the investment. We sold all of our motivation on Di Maria's send-off game. It felt like a fairy tale was coming to a conclusion. We also don't have Messi, so I don't think the guys are able to properly motivate themselves without their two massive leaders there, you know? And we have other leaders on the team, but I just don't think we came correct for this game. That being said, Colombia did play pretty football. They played very competitive football. I think I agree with you 100%. They are inarguably the second best team. Excuse me, they're the second best team right now in CONMEBOL,
Inarguably. Yeah.
inarguably, beyond reproach. And I am 100% aligned with you in that I think that they can go toe to toe with the big boys over across the pond. I think they can do that. I'm interested to see how they stack up against the African teams. I'm interested. I want to know what that looks like. But
Dude.
right
Colombia,
now, it's
Egypt would be
looking
a
good.
banger right now.
Now, what I'm saying, what I'm about to say, I don't want it to, I don't mean it in a hateful way.
It will be
I
taken
don't
as
think it
such.
was a pen. It will be taken as such no matter what I say, but I have to get it out there, just for my own legal defense. For the
I don't know. I
record,
think Munoz got Otamendi there.
you think he got him? What do you mean?
I think he touched him with
So
his foot.
you think Otamendi touched Munoz?
Yeah.
You think he dragged him over? I will say this. Go back, find the replays on YouTube, because I watched 6 of them.
Okay.
Otamendi's entire body has passed Munoz by the time that he starts jumping. Because go back, watch it. It's inarguably he's a jump. He does sell that, and he does well to sell it. He does well to sell it. For all of the, boring play that Argentina gave off in the Copa America, this is bad karma coming to bite him in the butt. And Colombia earned that penalty. I will say that they earned that penalty. It was very soft. For my money, I'm not having it. Paraguay, they're 9. What's his name? Big Viking looking white guy with the big red beard.
Oh, like,
What's his
yeah, it
name?
seems like Vipa or something.
Vipa
I never seen him before.
Vitor, something like that.
I'm looking
Homeboy
it up.
tried
I'm
to
looking it up.
pull a very similar stunt against Brazil, and it was
Pita,
not
Pita,
called.
not Vita, Pita.
Okay, Bita. He tried to pull a
Pita
very
with a P, like
similar
pita bread?
Pita, pita bread. All right. So my
Pita
boy
bread.
Pita Bread tried to pull something very similar in the Brazil game. He didn't sell it as well. Frankly, it wasn't nearly as close of a challenge, but it's the same sort of sentiment. I think similar positioning in the box. It's a tough sell. I think the one against Argentina was a lot more clear, or was a lot less clear, rather. And I'm happy for Colombia at the end of the day. And frankly, for Argentina too, if we're going to lose points, this is the time to do it. I think we'll be ready for next window.
Yeah, I think it was a pen. I'm gonna be honest. Daniel Munoz obviously didn't play in the Copa America final because of the red card, and that was he's a big addition back into this Colombian side. We'll never know because he was a dumbass against Uruguay. What would have happened if he actually played? So, but it doesn't matter. Like, I get it's very important for Colombia. I'm kind of countering myself here. It's very important that they won, but obviously they lost the big one, which was the final. So hopefully that just goes on to motivate Colombia at the next World Cup to put in a better
Yeah,
performance and be like, okay,
100%.
we finally took out Argentina. Maybe there's nothing stopping us anymore. Kind of like what Argentina did with Brazil previously. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. Wrapping this up real quick. We talked about the Chile loss 2-1 to Bolivia. Bro, that freaking I still don't even know what happened when Vargas scored for Chile when the Bolivian goalkeeper just like went down clutching his hamstring. Did the guy actually get hurt, or was he faking it? Did you
What it
hear
looked
anything
like
about
to
that?
what it looked like to me is that the ball goes just out of his reach. He sees Vargas and he panics, and maybe he pulled his hamstring, maybe he didn't. Either way, you can't just call a timeout like that,
Yeah,
injury or no. I'm so
yeah.
sorry.
That's no. There's not a team on planet Earth that is not scoring that goal.
Yep, yep,
I thought it.
100%.
I was watching. I was like, he kind of takes a heavy touch there. I don't know. Like, I think he knew he was done.
He takes a heavy touch, he's cooked. Now the smart thing, you take a stutter step and just try and get some space, maybe a drag back or something, anything. But lack of confidence with the ball at your feet as a keeper, this is the
Hmm.
modern game. Welcome to the full court press. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and the fact that Chile get gifted a goal like that and they still lose at home. I mean, they're a finished national team. Like, if you look at Bolivia's goals, it's some of the worst defending I've ever seen from Chile. Like, they have numbers in the box. They're not outnumbered. All Bolivia does is just cut in from the left side twice and cross the ball lane, and they just get destroyed. Like, Chile's just annihilated. Like, their center backs, Mr. Mustache Man, I guess, just absolutely terrible. So, massive win for Bolivia. Chile so down bad. I do want to touch on, we can talk about Ecuador, Peru very quickly. It was a 1-0. It was a very nice header from Valencia. The cross, though, from Alan Franco was incredible. It was a very, very good cross. I think he made the CONMEBOL Team of the Week for that, which I think is fair. And Peru really didn't do anything at all. Like, they just played defense the entire game. And Ecuador, being a team who can't score, we've been saying this for a year, still can't score. So they got a 1-0 win, and that sounds about right. They beat Chile at home, 1-0. Now they've beaten Peru, 1-0 at home. They'll probably beat Bolivia 1-0 at home. I think that's going to be the story of Ecuador's qualifying campaign. And last but not least, Paraguay versus Brazil. I felt like it would be a draw. You felt like Brazil would win, and Paraguay won. And I want to ask you guys in the comments, better goal from this qualifying window, Diego Gomez against Brazil or Julian against Chile? Because both of those were bangers. But that Gomez goal was nice, dude. I mean, it was like a
It was nice.
I saw
No,
that.
dude.
I saw that. And I was like, this is why Paraguay. They got the talent, man. They really do. They just need a coach who can put it together.
Here's what I'm going to say about that game. I got two takeaways.
Okay.
Paraguay, best man marking of the entire window. Man marking, you want to showcase? That's it. Lisandro Martinez, go home right now. Because if you man mark with half of the proficiency that the Paraguayans mustered in that game, we go home with the tie, at
Yeah.
least, if not a win.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, dude, my thoughts on that goal. Outside of the foot shot meets goalpost equals, I think, best goal of the window. Well, I don't know. Julian hit the crossbar. I'm a sucker
Yeah.
for an outside of the foot shot, though. I love it. I
Yeah.
love an outside of the foot shot. They're gorgeous. I think my bias is going against my personal preference right now. I like
Yeah.
outside of the foot shots, but it's Argentina, so they're like it's neck and neck for me.
Yeah. Also, if you take it to, like, one was to beat Chile, one was to beat Brazil.
And we had already had, a goal to beat Chile. With or without that goal, we win the
Yeah.
game. Yeah, I think you
Yeah.
gotta go. You gotta go Paraguay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn
I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
Junior saw that and he was like, God damn, like, I can't catch a break here.
He
Like,
saw that. He was like, what do I gotta do? What do I gotta do, man?
he was like, oh, they're gonna kill me back in Rio. But, like, how
Yeah.
am I supposed to stop that? Like, there's no keeper alive who stops that. You got Allison in goal, for God's sake.
And Allison dived. He was horizontal. He was 4
He did
feet
everything
off
that he
the
could.
ground. He did everything that was humanly possible.
Yeah,
And then some.
correct. Correct. Yeah, it was a absolute screamer. What a start to Alfaro's tenure with Paraguay. And I gotta say, dude, how the night and day between when Brazil spanked the crap out of them 4-0 at the Copa America, or 4-1 at the Copa America, and to now, crazy. Crazy. That was literally Vinicius' best game in a Brazil shirt was at the Copa America, and he was a ghost. Like, got absolutely locked up in this game. Did nothing.
I'm telling you, man. That man marking, whatever game plan they had for Vinicius, you just rinse and repeat
It worked.
because it'll work next window too. I don't think we'll see any sort of hangover until the one after this. But listen, I was basing a lot of my metric on selling on Paraguay based on that Brazil game. I said if Brazil can
Mhm.
get up for this, then there's some serious weaknesses with Paraguay. But I mean, looky, it just takes one adjustment. And like you said, he's getting the lads firing. So kudos to Paraguay. I'm happy to be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. I want to see my boy in Enciso gaining confidence, banging in goals, because God knows I need him in fantasy. God knows I
Well,
need him in fantasy.
you were very wrong. Actually, our grades for match day 8, I went 3 for 5. Connor, you went
Oh,
1 for 5.
1 for 5. Okay. At least
1 for 5. 1 for 5. So your total score, our total scores for this window, I got 7 out of 10 games correct. So at least I passed. Connor, 3 for 10, my guy. What happened, dude?
I told you I hate predictions. They're not my
You
strong suit.
fumbled.
I don't like seeing it. I don't like them. Can't
It's a
stand them.
staple content piece on the
It is a
channel.
staple content piece. I can't do it. I'll do the post-match reactions and dissections, but that's my bread and butter, baby. I can't.
Oh,
Don't make me do a prediction. Please, God. That's why I don't
well,
bet. That's why I don't sports bet.
yeah,
That and it's morally wrong.
that's right. For all the children
Unless we
watching.
get a
Well, I hate
sponsor calling.
unless somebody is on the phone right now. Well, I hate to tell you, dude, but we're gonna have more predictions for you when we are back for the next CONMEBOL qualifying window. And guys, if you want to see that, then make sure you are subscribed to Deadball TV. If you enjoy this video recapping the September window, drop a like. If you're listening on streaming platforms, another reminder to either give the podcast a 5-star rating or a thumbs up, depending on what device you're looking for. And guys, if you want to follow us on social media, you can do so by clicking on the links in the description of this video. Drop your biggest winners, losers, and any other thoughts you have down below in the comments. We appreciate y'all for watching. We'll see y'all in the next one.